What if an ultra budget mic could seriously upgrade your Action 5 Pro audio? And believe it or not, it's not some third-party brand. It's the DJI Mic Mini, the ultralight discreet mic made for creators on the move that perfectly accompanies cameras that are also within the DJI ecosystem, like the Action 5 Pro. Let's see what it can actually do. As creators, especially those of us who film on action cameras, the biggest challenge is always audio. Sometimes we don't want to be filming sort of this close where we can use the native microphones. Sometimes we want to be filming a little bit further where we do need things like external microphones, and that's where things like this come in. Now, because cameras like this on the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro are incredibly visual, the built-in microphones are generally fine, but sometimes you want a little bit more clarity and a bit more better audio when it comes to making that polished, finished output. Then when we compare the audio output to something like having an external mic like the DJI Mic Mini, you can see the difference between having something like this and using the native microphones. When it comes to microphones, we want something that's lightweight, that's comfortable to wear, is wireless and reliable, something with flexibility that could be used while traveling, vlogging, running, or shooting in multiple environments, from those calm ones to even the most chaotic ones. Now, while we tend to search for third-party options because they tend to be cheaper while doing a perfectly acceptable job, DJI have positioned the Mic Mini right at that perfect spot where it ponders the question, do we even need to look anywhere else? Now, in order to be convenient, I want a mic that just works. Something I can just turn on, clip on instantly, something that doesn't look bulky, something wind resistant, something stable while moving, and most importantly, something affordable. Well, for me, this ticks all of the boxes. I grabbed the transmitter only version for about £35 at the time, and now it's even cheaper than that. So let's start with how it sounds. I recently went to New York and I tested this mic at the top of the Rockefeller Center. And as you can hear from the footage, using just the Osmo Action 5 Pro's native microphone, you can hear the strong wind blasting from every direction, people moving around, metal structures everywhere. Then I've used the Mic Mini with the windscreen on in exactly the same location moments later, and you can hear me clearly without any wind noise. And this is without noise cancellation enabled. So far this morning we've had a marathon debrief, and now they're taking me on some surprise locations. So the first one is being at the top of the Rockefeller Center, but look at this amazing view. And usually I'm not very good with heights, but I'm actually fine, and it means I can experience all of this in like amazing wonder without having the jelly legs to go with it. So amazing, and can't wait for what else is in store later on. So that was how it handled wind noise outdoors, but how about in a controlled indoor environment like this? So we're going to test out the active noise cancellation on the DJI Mic Mini. Now, I'm holding it here like this, but you can have it clipped on, you can have it attached to the action camera, just depending on how you film. But for the purpose of this, I'm going to hold it in my hand so that you can actually see it. Now, there is a 2-level active noise cancellation on the DJI Mic Mini. There is obviously off, there is low active noise cancellation, and there is high. Now, via the Mic Mini itself, you can only access the off and high noise cancellation, but via the settings on the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro, you can obtain that low setting active noise cancellation as well. So let's test that noise cancellation. I've got on my computer here, I've got some low level traffic noise. So let's see how that copes with the active noise cancellation. So I've got the volume quite loud on that noise, so you might just be able to hear it over my chatter right here. It's actually quite loud on my computer here. So this is with no noise cancellation enabled. So obviously via the Mic Mini itself, I can only toggle between off and high. So let's enable high. So this is with high noise cancellation enabled. So we know that it's on because you can see that light. You can see that light there. So we know that the active noise cancellation is off. So you can hear my voice more clearly now compared to how it was when it was disabled. So this is with noise cancellation on, and this is with noise cancellation off. So just let me know in the comments below what you think. And for the purpose of this test, this is what it sounds like with the Osmo Action 5's native camera. So you can probably hear all that car noise and everything like that a lot more clearer now than with this. And what really impresses me about the Mic Mini is just how stable the transmission is, and the audio from the Mic Mini can be transmitted line of sight up to 400 meters away. So even with clouds and interference, you're probably going to get up to, or probably just short of, that 400 meters. And compared to microphones from other brands, maybe except the Lark M2 from Hollyland, the Mic Mini's ultralight design means that it never seems to pull or get flapped around like bigger, more clunkier microphones do when they are attached to clothing. Now, I like to know that this microphone can fit in with my workflow about how I mainly use the Action 5 Pro, and that's when I'm running. I'm often talking a lot to camera, mainly in this sort of run and gun setup, but sometimes I want to be a bit further away from the camera and speak, and that's where this mic comes in. So I went for a run, just me, the Action 5 Pro, and the Mic Mini clipped to my hat. So this is how I usually use action cameras while I'm running. So there'll be times when I'm filming and I might be breathing heavily. And as I said before, there'll be times when I don't want to be this close to the camera. I mean, I've got this camera on an extended tripod, so I can extend it out and go out a little bit further. But then you can see the problem with that is that the audio becomes less good. But with the DJI Mic Mini, which I've got to my hat here, I can improve that. So let's do a test where I use the DJI Mic Mini while I'm running on the Osmo Action 5 Pro. Okay, so now I've got the DJI Mic Mini connected to the Osmo Action 5 Pro, and this is the audio coming from it, and it is connected to my hat there, so breathing heavily. There's wildlife around me, which you may or may not be able to hear, but no matter where the camera is over there, the audio doesn't change. So it's definitely an improvement in audio quality. And this is what the audio sounds like if it is like connected, clipped onto my top like this. I'm not really a fan of this because I can't see it from here, but sometimes it's flapping about a bit. But some people might like to choose that option. Me personally, not a fan of it. And then there's this option using the magnets, which for me, I do really like. And I have been running around for the last few minutes like this, and it's actually quite secure. So this is actually a good method. For me, I'm going to be sticking with it clipped onto the mat, because I feel like, for me, that's the most secure method. And for the last little running segment, I decided to just put the noise cancellation on high and just see how it sounds, but you can hear my voice clearly, which is blocking out the background sounds of the seagulls making their noise and everything like that, and my footsteps. The stable Bluetooth connection, even with heavy movement, you can hear me very clearly compared to using the native microphone, which is still clear, but you can tell the difference in quality. Then there's very little clothing rustle thanks to its tiny weight of just 10 grams, and there's zero dropouts even as I move the camera around. As the DJI Mic Mini can connect to both action cameras and smartphones, I wanted to see if there was any noticeable difference between how it sounds like on the Osmo Action 5 Pro as it's sounding now compared to my iPhone 17 Pro. So let's take a look at how it sounds on the iPhone 17 Pro. So I've connected the Mic Mini to my iPhone 17 Pro. So I'm currently filming via the Blackmagic app, so I can see the monitor levels and everything like that, and obviously there's a little bit more control over the audio and the visual part of it. But this is what it sounds like using the DJI Mic Mini connected via Bluetooth to the iPhone 17 Pro. Now let's compare it to what it sounds like on the native iPhone microphone. So this is what it sounds like using the iPhone 17 Pro's native microphone. So let me know in the comments below the difference between this, the DJI Mic Mini, and the native microphone on the iPhone 17 Pro. Now the Mic Mini audio from the Action 5 Pro is cleaner, more natural sounding, and has that consistent audio. The Mic Mini audio on the iPhone is better compared to the native iPhone microphone, where my voice just appears to get lost in the this room, but compared to the Action 5 Pro audio, there is slightly more compression and a tiny difference in dynamic range, but it's still fully usable for vlogs or social media content. But I definitely prefer how it sounds on the Osmo Action 5 Pro. Okay, future Andre here. I have actually purchased another Mic Mini and the receiver so that I can connect it to my camera. So yeah, that's been done. All I need now is a case, which I'll probably purchase separately at another point. And this is what the Mic Mini sounds like on the iPhone 17 Pro when the DJI receiver is plugged in. So before, when we were using the Mic Mini just Bluetooth straight to the iPhone 17 Pro, now I got the receiver, which is plugged into the iPhone 17 Pro, and the DJI Mic Mini is connected to that receiver. Now, while I've taken to having this attached to my hat while I'm running because of its small, discreet size, you can have it attached to your clothing via the clip-on method or using the magnets, making it almost unnoticeable on clothing, and even magnetically attach it to the Osmo Action itself. The Mic Mini has an up to 10.5 hour battery, meaning that it should easily last a full day shooting. And if you bought the transmitter only version like me, it does come with a charging dock. Now, it uses DJI Osmo Audio direct connection. Now, it allows this to connect to the Osmo Action 4, the 5 Pro, the Osmo 360 and the Pocket 3 without having a receiver attached, and that connection is instantaneous as soon as both devices are turned on. And another feature that I really like is the auto power saving mode, which allows the Mic Mini to go into sleep mode after a certain time or inactivity when it's not getting a signal from something like this, to when it suddenly does get a signal, it wakes up and instantly connects again. Now, when connecting two smartphones, this can be done via the regular Bluetooth method or by pairing the Mic Mini receiver and the mobile phone adapter. And when you do connect it via Bluetooth to your phone, you can actually check the device settings on using the DJI Mimo app. Now, with the Osmo Action 4 and smartphones, having this setup means that you can connect only one Mic Mini transmitter at a time via Bluetooth, which is going to be great obviously for solo vloggers or simple setups. While with the Osmo Action 5 Pro and the Osmo Pocket 3, you can connect two of these Mic Mini transmitters simultaneously, which is going to be great for interviews, two-person vlogs, or that dual channel audio. Now, if you are using this and the smartphone, then without anything else, you can only connect one Mic Mini via Bluetooth. But if you do want to use two Mic Minis at once on a smartphone, there is a solution, and I sort of alluded to it earlier. You can purchase the DJI Mic Series mobile receiver, which plugs into your phone, either via USB-C or Lightning, depending which one you get, and it allows two Mic Mini transmitters to connect at the same time, which is going to be perfect for interviews, podcasts, or two-person content recorded straight to your phone. Depending on your setup and workflow, there are other options. So let's talk about what you get with just this setup. Now, what you do get in the box is the transmitter in either this Infinity Black or Arctic White, a black and a grey windscreen, a clip magnet, compact carrying pouch, a charging dock, and a USB-C charging cable. Now, there is the one transmitter and receiver kit, which is better for phones, DSLRs, and mirrorless cameras, as well as the action cameras that I mentioned before. So as well as the accessories that you get in the previous kit, you also get the receiver, the 3.5mm TRS camera audio cable, and a mobile phone adapter. Now, probably for my usage using cameras, phones, and action cameras, I'd probably be better off with one of the kits that come with the receiver. And then there's the two transmitter, receiver, and charging case option. It includes those dual transmitters, the charging case, which provides up to 3.6 additional full charges of the transmitters and the receiver. Now, after testing the DJI mic on top of the Rockefeller Center, it seems a bit extreme that I actually went there to do. I didn't just go to New York to do that, and I've also obviously done it while running and comparing the audio on both the Osmo Action 5 Pro and the iPhone. I think just looking at the transmitter only option for the money, and even looking at the other options, the Mic Mini has got to be one of the best budget audio upgrades that you can make. It's handled everything that I've thrown at it really well. Wind, movement, noise, and that outdoor chaos all surprisingly well. This mic is clearly built for creators who film on the move. So if you're a solo creator who primarily uses DJI action cameras, and in particular the Osmo Action 5 Pro, the 4, the Pocket 3 or the Osmo 360, and just want to improve your audio on those action cameras, then this really is a no-brainer. Particularly if you shoot interviews or dual person content, then you can expand with a second transmitter or add the mobile receiver for smartphone dual mic recording. So there's options for every mobile filmmaker. And if you are interested in getting your hands on this, I'll leave a link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, press that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.